This is our second time going live. For those who didn't realize, well, of course you didn't realize because we weren't there. We were talking to ourselves in the digital world.
Talking tokens.
Once again, we were just three guys talking tokens.
We are talking tokens, and we're going to do it again. So welcome to Talkin Tokens on a Tuesday. You're listening to the best cryptocurrency talk show podcast on the market on Facebook, the fastest growing 3-person podcast that I know of. Simple cryptocurrency.
Did you verify that?
Yeah. That's why you got to say 3-person podcast, because we're just like, it's like some obscure
random metric.
The
Find us on the blockchain.
Fastest growing podcast with Adam, Mike, and John talking about simple cryptocurrency on the internet. But anyway, thanks for tuning in for the first time again today. We're about to get into it. My name's Adam. That's Mike. And that's John down at the bottom. We're ready to talk some tokens.
Let's go.
Speaking of tokens, we saw Bitcoin on the way out of our show last week. It was 64,000. We didn't know where it was going to go. I at least projected, I think 68. It hit 67, all-time high. What'd you say, Mike? I don't remember. 68.
Probably same. Yeah, same.
65. John was like, it's going to fuck around for a couple of hours or a couple of days. And right now we're sitting pretty. We're at 60,000. I think let's run the little token down at the bottom. 60. No, that's not right. Come on. Who wrote that?
We're at 67.93.
Those are the old numbers from last week. That's what that is.
Okay.
And then Ethereum's at 4,168.
Okay. Respectable numbers.
And obviously breaking the all-time high is short-term very critical because we made it. We topped in a new. Let me run that banner one more time. We put in a new.
There we go.
High.
ATH.
Yeah. Now we're holding some critical support lines and looking for the next wave up of this cycle. Mike you were showing me that breakdown technical analysis earlier this week where it was talking about the Elliott wave.
The Elliott waves. We could be currently in the third wave, which is the biggest wave, which we could be bull running up.
Yeah, it was like 3 of 5. So like what people were predicting, or at least that person was predicting, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They said maybe this was the 5th wave at some point, but then they looked back and noticed there was more data from obviously when Bitcoin still they extended the map. And anyway, wave 3 of 5, and that's going to push us into the green 6-figure territory, which is just really cool to think of.
Oh yeah.
Ethereum, all the things, Ethereum and all the altcoins are just rumbling. John, you're a very happy man with Shiba. I mean, just absolutely.
Shiba's about to 10x, man.
It's already done 3 since we started the show, I think.
It hit 5, right? I think it was close to hitting 5. I think once it hit 7, it 10x.
From what time? From what time scale?
I don't know, from like September-ish. September. Anything before October was when it was at its bottom.
September? Okay, wow. I mean, every day I look at it, I'm like, John, 19% gains. John, 19% gains. I could just see
what? Some people are trading it on 10x using KuCoin. That shit is wild. Imagine making 10x gains on that thing.
10x gains on 10x gains.
Like it's already organically doing 6x gains with a 10x leverage. That's 60x. Those are crackhead gains.
That's special. Yeah, I don't even know what is that math? That's like 100% gain on a 10x gain.
I don't know about the percentage. I just go by the multiplier.
Right.
Yeah. Well, if you're 10x on your
bottom line,
I guess you're 5xing on. Yeah, if you're doing 10% but times 10, that's 100%. So it's another
100% 10 is 2x, right?
100%.
Yeah, if something gains 100%, it doubled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be okay, 2x. Yeah. I'm just saying when you're leveraged times 10 on your 10x, that's 10 times 10, it's 1,000x. Anyway, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this massiveness. If we started our cryptocurrency playoffs or whatever, or fantasy league, and you chose that, you'd be winning again.
Oh hell yeah! What happened to the fantasy game? Let's do some fantasy picks for.
Yeah, let's start one for next week for November. We can do the November challenge or something.
Yep.
I mean, but yeah, just Shiba's going crazy. I watched the Altcoin Daily podcast, and they did a pretty big deep dive on Shiba Coin in general, and just talked about all its functions. And I'm looking here at Shiba Swap. I started researching what Dig and Fetch and Berry and Wolf and
they launched this summer.
Right, so like they have a white paper that I read through today, which was
wolf paper. You mean?
Yeah, it was a wolf paper, right?
Wolf paper.
Just trying to like understand. I still don't really understand like what the heck you take bone and you can dig it or you can bury it, and then it's basically. If you bury it, it's like almost like staking it, right?
Yeah,
so it's like you're getting paid for then taking it out of circulation, which then in turn should then raise the price.
But then you get T-Bone back, and then you get like X Leash, and you get X Shiba. So it's like you get all these other coins outside of as rewards to those things that you just did. So there's some other functions.
Yeah, there's other tokens.
And it's.
I mean, it definitely seems like it is more advanced than just like Doge, which is a copy of Litecoin, which is a copy of Bitcoin. Kind of, it's running on Ethereum, which gives it the power and the kind of all the characteristics of the Ethereum network. So
they say in the white paper though that are like the wolf paper. You're right. They say we'll never get to like 1 cent. Basically, they're like, even though we'll probably. They say it in the wolf paper, so like they acknowledge that like there's some challenges getting the market.
Of course, with a 1 quadrillion surplus, but Doge is unlimited. So what's it does have less in circulation, and right now it's showing it on its 1 year percentage. It's up, I think 57 million %. Like, is that like possible? Like
one of the membership groups I'm in. So they've been talking about Shiba since like early beginning of this year, and they were talking about it. Someone bought like $1,000 worth of it, or something absurdly low, and now it's $1 million.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I heard something like that from like last year or something. Or they're just. It's crazy.
Well, I decided to get in a little bit. I bought like $50 last week, and so I'm like on Team FOMO. I'm on Team FOMO. I have the Shiba that we've been mining, or we mined like a couple months ago. So like that turned from $4 mine to 24. So I'm like, damn, if I just had that as 400, that'd be $2,400. But I figured you might as well just hop on board. And
I guess, I mean, we haven't really seen much whale manipulation. And then the Elon news was they asked him, how much do you have? And he said, I got none.
Right.
None. And then that's when it like dropped. So it's like, once again, Elon, getting in the way of these Sheba coins or Doge coins.
But what's good is even though it dropped, it just came right back up. So it kind of detached itself from like Elon. So it shows that it doesn't need Elon at this point.
Yep.
And you've been talking the Robinhood rumors too. Like it's supposed to. I heard a thing it was supposed to drop today or the 25th, which was yesterday.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's the rumor mill's buzzing on Robinhood, and obviously that's.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's a little bit more than just a flash in the pan, and it's right now sitting at number 11 market cap overall. So
it's almost a top 10 coin. It's about to be there. I think it'll be a top 5 coin if it keeps going.
Well,
what's number 2? Is it Ethereum?
Yeah, it's got to be. Let me see.
Okay. Yeah, it's Ethereum, Binance Coin, Cardano, Tether, Solana, XRP, Polkadot, Doge, USD.
It's coming for Ethereum. It's coming for the number 2 spot. Maybe.
Well, it's got to pass Doge first. So
that'll be big.
I mean, the writing's on the wall. It's going to happen.
I would imagine.
The website won't load it. That's what's going on here.
So, did you guys hear over the weekend how Tom Brady had his like 600 touchdown pass and he gave the ball away or
Yeah.
the receiver gave it away. So
Yep.
apparently, then the guy gave it back. He got all this tickets for life and signed jerseys. Then Tom Brady gave him a full Bitcoin
Yeah, that's wild.
for the ball. I was like, because apparently it was estimated that it'd be like $500,000 to $600,000 if he had kept the ball. But so you got that's just kind of cool how it connected. And, Tom Brady's, I guess, sending you
I didn't read
Bitcoin.
the Bitcoin part in the article that I saw, but I guess he's obviously in crypto, so maybe he's like this. That would be a good.
So
way
one Bitcoin, that's pretty freaking sweet, 60K, and
Yeah.
I know I was like that. I would like that over season tickets to the Bucks.
I mean, obviously he could have bought 7 Bitcoin if he kept the ball.
Right.
He kind of got screwed out of the financial part of the deal, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think at least he did the right thing in the eyes of most, and then he got kind of rewarded for it. So, but that'd be pretty neat. You go to a game, you get a ball.
I mean, you're not expecting to get anything out of it. So the fact that
he was wearing a Mike Evans jersey, who Mike Evans gave the ball away on accident, and then that's an accident, kind of like BlockFi giving you 5 Bitcoin. Yeah,
right.
Sons of bitches.
Did that news pump up Bitcoin at all?
Well, again,
No.
I didn't even see the article I read about it. Didn't even say that. So that must have just
today.
Yeah, just kind of Dad was the one who told me about that.
Okay.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, the mining.
No, I don't.
Do you have any other links?
I don't think it did anything to Bitcoin price because
Okay.
obviously we went.
Well, I don't think it's pumping it immediately, but I think it's good for it overall publicity wise.
Exposure. Well, maybe that's where more people, just start talking about it, and then you get people that normally wouldn't talk about crypto asking you about it.
Well, here's another. Brady is on the picture of this, but FTX is obviously trying to get big into the sports world. We talked about them buying the sponsorship rights to the Miami Heat, stadium, their arena, and Major League Baseball umpire shirts, University of California, Berkeley football stadium. But they're talking about buying Super Bowl ads. So,
nice.
Yeah, they're going to have probably a real funny Brady FXT Super Bowl ad coming up here. 30-second ad for $5.5 million.
Pretty cool.
They say up here in tongue in cheek, they're like, we actually wanted to buy the Super Bowl, but they don't accept. So,
they don't accept crypto.
Yeah, they don't accept crypto. So I'm sure we'll see something, something funny there coming up. But yeah, let's go back to the chart real quick. Bitcoin is kind of chilling in this
ascending triangle.
Ascending triangle, 60,000 is a major support right here. We had a pretty big move down today, but bounced as expected on the 60 and kind of is working its way back up. Markets are turning green again, but it'll probably just, it's going to break out. And the end of this triangle here is Halloween. So we could see a breakout one way or the other before Halloween.
It's definitely been Pumptober.
Pumptober.
Right. I mean, you look at you're like, oh, it's down a little bit. But I mean, look what we just did, If you zoom out.
It's done. It almost did 55% gain to the all-time high from 43. It was right at the end of September, October 1st. So
I mean, basically 2x from the low when we were in our low from the 28,000. So
yep.
Everything's still gravy. We might touch this little yellow bar here, calling it the bone zone. Thank you to Tyler on YouTube. The bone zone, if it gets down to 58 to 56,000, it's going to be a hot second. It's going to touch it, the dump before the pump, and let's fly right after that. So that's kind of what we're tracking right now. There's some. We'll see what happens, but everything else is just ready to fly. Ethereum on this side. Let me zoom out a little bit here.
When we were talking Bitcoin price, I think we have to think about Taproot also, because I saw back when they initiated SegWit, so segregated witnesses, so to the blocks. Shortly after that, it doubled or tripled. So there's a metric after the halving, and then after, these upgrades. So yeah, people are saying, are we already seeing the Taproot price, or are we going to then see the Taproot effect after? Because I think it's like mid-November when it goes into effect. So more security, I guess, more privacy, more less like fees and stuff. But yeah, I think all good stuff.
It makes sense. You see some more functionality, and it's just more publicity, and people want to buy in when they see things improving. So
I mean, that could be a catalyst to the next, 100K level and above.
Okay.
Right. So Ethereum is, touched. We saw the all-time high at this yellow line, 4,300. We basically grazed it. Just
show the chart real quick.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought we were looking at it. Oops.
Yeah, we almost touched 4,400.
Yeah, basically grazed the all-time high right here, and
on the 21st.
Yep, and kind of settled right after our show last week, right as everything else hit the all-time high. So, anybody looking at all these charts, you can just see everything is just compressing against their all-time highs and ready to just explode. Ethereum, most analysts say 10K plus Ethereum by December.
Yeah, it looks like it's cup and handle pattern kind of, and then it could just take off. One thing with Ethereum and Bitcoin, I think we had the first buy-in from a union, a pension plan, like the Dallas Fort Worth Fire Department, or something, first responders pension program. They bought $25 million worth of Ethereum and Bitcoin.
And a pension plan.
Yeah. For their peoples. So
good move.
Just wait till we start seeing stuff like that.
How are pension funds normally funded?
I think from the dues of the people that probably pay into them, or something. So
how are they? What's their collateral for? What's their?
What do they Where's the money coming from? What do they invest? I guess it doesn't really matter, it's up to them how they invest it.
It's coming from. You're kind of it's like your own little mini Social Security for your work.
Right, you work and then you put a certain amount in there. Right, and then they pay you afterwards.
Right, but where does that investment come from? They're taking your money slightly and they're investing into something. I'm just kind of curious, what they're investing into.
Well, I'm sure they diversify.
Yeah,
numerous different things: gold,
bonds, golds, right? ETFs, and then now Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's a nice little chunk for 25 mil.
There's a lot of just out there that have a lot of money to do that. So that's
right. And then once that one domino falls and people start seeing, oh man, we got to get out of this fiat. It's no bueno. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. A lot of people are seeing a market crash in the normal stock market here upcoming soon. Robert Kiyosaki been saying that forever.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the stock market, it just hit its new all-time high.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Right. So it's it's pumping, and it's just fake injection. It's just the market's being manipulated to. How do we keep going to all-time highs when we have so much national debt and the money is 35% of all the dollar bills that have been printed in the last year or something that are in circulation?
Yeah.
It's technically below this little resistance line, at least the one that I drew, this yellow brick road here, but it
just keeps going up.
It's that's why
I think it's just
a lot of these these stocks, they were pumping the last 2 days. You just saw all these greeny greens, but that's why does it continue to just flow in, and is it where's that money coming from? Those are all the questions that we're trying to solve with cryptocurrency. ADA is on the very last bit of this triangle here, so it has to make it through.
But it's going somewhere.
It literally tried to break out this morning, and then Bitcoin had a bad day, so it kind of came back to earth. But literally, you can see
Look at this consolidation. It's at 250. It's been at 215 for like a while.
Right. It
Or
like
just right in this like
probably too small of it. Let me do like the hourly candles. Yeah. So it basically like tried to break out, had a massive dump. That was a couple weeks ago. It tried to break out again here and kind of like held it. Bitcoin had a shitty day. It kind of pulled it in, but it's like, it's at the edge of this triangle. So it's got to make a move. And right now it's going green, which is a good thing. So ADA, ETH, all coiled up. Solana's been making like massive runs. It's been filling up this.
right. Is it over 200?
Not.
It is 203. Yeah, 203.
The Fibonacci was like right here at 213. So it basically touched that twice, ready to coil up to the next one and start talking about the 300s once it breaks through that. But it's been playing around in this Fibonacci zone since. This is like early October.
Sent you some links, Adam, if you need any.
Okay, yeah, I'll pull them up. Matic, John, I know you've been a big proponent of Matic. It's also been making a lot of moves recently.
Yeah, it's getting pumped.
Looking healthy. I don't know if there's any news associated with it or why it's doing that, but it's been making some moves. You know if there's anything?
Haven't saw any news. I think it's being pumped because it's a good project.
Okay, it's just the one that
the tokenomics and are pushing it along.
It's kind of
it's on Ethereum, and I think there was a lot more like Polygon and Matic like addresses being made, maybe even than on the Ethereum chain. So people are finding use for it in DeFi probably and other things.
One that Mike and I were talking about earlier today was Kadena. I mean, just looking back historically for like, if you look at year to date, look at that freaking Burj Khalifa.
What is that?
Just by this October.
This is year to date. So from, let's say this is January 2021. It was at 25 cents. 25 cents.
So it's like Doge. It's like Doge right now going to like $8 in a month.
Right. It went from really the start of this was August 21st. It was 30 cents, 34 cents, and now it hit 8.2 like last week.
Oh wow.
So that's your
holy smokes.
I mean, let me do a little price range thing just to get the full effect here. If you bought in there, that's 3,000%.
You said it was 25 cents, now it's $8.
Yeah, it was 25 cents in January. It was 30 cents in August. So just 30 cents to $8. Yeah, it's a 30x from there, 3,000%. So I don't even know enough about Kadena to even like talk about it. I do know there's the miners that we look at, that we watch. One of them is making a ridiculous amount of money right now.
Yeah, from Gold Shell. Yeah.
It's like making $180 a day on Kadena.
It is now the king. Undisputed. Well, yeah, 174. Yeah. Wow.
So very cool stuff there. This is some price analysis. We could probably get into that later if we need to. Let's see. JP Morgan is saying that bullish outlook for Bitcoin is outperforming or is going to outperform gold. So they're like changing their tune on Bitcoin outperforming gold as a hedge against inflation.
Yep.
So people are going to start, like you said, Mike, the pension plans or all the people that just have gold are like, what the hell? Gold's not.
Yeah, the gold bugs.
It's not outperforming the current rate of inflation. It's
right. So people should dump that and then move into, digital assets.
Exactly. And then people like JP Morgan and those type of sites that give that kind of advice to maybe some of the
right. They're going to be the driver.
Oh, I thought this one, Mike, we talked about this earlier today or earlier this week too. WorldCoin.
Yeah. So WorldCoin.
There's this guy trying to basically provide a WorldCoin where you get a universal digital currency or payment, basically.
Payment.
Through
airdrop.
Yeah, everyone gets a certain amount of this coin as long as you give up your eye scan, your retinal scan information. And I think they're doing that. They say they're doing that because then not they truly digital deposit to unique individuals. I think that's what they think.
Right. I mean,
they're trying
of
to do.
course, but that's not.
But yeah, you're giving up. People are like, why am I going to be? Why do I want this? Everyone that in this, a lot of the people in this market space are trying to like decentralize and not have data and like know your client and all this stuff. So now I'm going to give you my eye scan. Like, are you kidding me?
Right. And they say, oh, we don't keep it. We only keep a hash of the scan. And it's like, well,
Right,
it could
which
be
is verifiable to a later.
Right.
Like you
Right.
can rehash your eye to like
Right.
confirm you've already been there, so they know it. Yeah, they would send you this orb thing, and you scan your eye in, and you get a certain amount of the coin. So it's
pretty daft on their part to come out with that. I mean,
yeah,
just be like, what do you think?
How to get cryptocurrency out to the world and get people to sign up, and okay, now they got your most private thing is your eye scan. I don't know if it's the most private, but it's obviously it's like your fingerprint almost. So
yeah. Huh. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. It depends what the company plans on doing, I guess.
No, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people are like, "What the hell are you talking about? Like, this is crazy. How can that be your method to have a fair distribution of the coin? There's got to be a different way." And yeah, a lot of bad feedback and towards the guy, and the guy supposedly was like, I didn't even think that would be a problem. Like Face ID. I'm surprised.
I mean, we have all these like COVID, it's like the restrictions, and then now it's like, oh, now we just need to scan your eye, and oh, just put this in your arm, and you're like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of a dumb thing. So
looks like we got some Facebook comments from our one and only Mike.
The Mike Sage.
Yep.
Yeah, we do actually. What did he say? I don't know what he was talking about here. So he should have dropped 10, deflation.
And then dot.
Yeah. Well, thanks for commenting, Mike. We
as always
participation in the show.
Yep.
I'm
you
sorry
got participation
comment when we were talking. I don't know what we were talking about.
Maybe he would like to be a guest once or twice. Something.
Yeah, we are still looking for.
Yeah, we'll bring him on here.
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of like privacy and stuff, I saw an ad today on Facebook's coin. Was it Libra or whatever?
DM?
Yeah, right. DM. Yeah, that's the new name. Yeah, I saw an ad. They're trying to push that coin. I don't know if it's launched or what the deal is, but saw an ad for it.
I think Mark Zuckerberg wants to be like, he wants to own a nation. So he's going to like,
yeah, he wants to be like the coin master,
Yeah, and then he's going to make his own currency, and then it's just going to be like this. He wants to create a metaverse and, enjoy all the powers, I guess, that come along with that.
I just feel like, let me go into Facebook. I mean, I started watching the Matrix trilogy again last night, actually, in preparation for Matrix 4 coming out. I wanted to refresh my Matrix brain. So, but I mean, yeah, that could be a couple years from now. I want to decentralize my brain into some metaverse that you're in.
Well, we got metaverse stuff coming out, virtual worlds, and we got Elon's what is it? The thing that plugs into your brain, Neuralink.
Oh, Brady joke.
Neuralink.
Right. I mean, like, at what point are they just gonna like feed you just random content into your head, right? Like, remember the movie?
Once we get the computer Neuralink like fully developed in any part of your brain, you can listen to music or deposit.
Right, but that means whatever they can put in, they can take out. So good luck with that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, who knows?
I may be the old version 1, human, but you ain't gonna be reading my brain.
Right. What do you mean you can't like look up the word definition in your brain, Mike? You're like, nah.
You like look up. You're like, oh.
But Mike's be like, I'm Homo sapien. I'm not Homo digital.
Digitalis.
Right. Well, you remember in the movie WALL-E, the cartoon, they had there's a scene where they're like humans, they're all fat, sitting in like a floating chair, and there's like a TV screen in front of them. They're just like immersed in this TV screen. They're being fed junk food by like a robot arm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the type of shit we're moving into. Like, people don't realize it's like one step into that direction with social media, one step with AI, one step with Neuralink.
Yeah, they had those Boston Dynamics, they make those like crazy like
Right, the crazy
robot dogs
Yeah, the
and stuff.
Terminator
They already
robot.
had those down in like freaking Australia, like scanning people's faces and checking your
Oh, really?
temperature. So like these little dogs are
So the dogs just
walking
roam around
Yeah.
scanning
Yeah,
people.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have more AI stuff. We're gonna lose more rights. Like at one point, I mean, we're gonna
Or what
have like
about like
autonomous cars coming. Like
yeah,
at
like
some point, we're gonna
deep
lose the right
fakes,
to drive a car.
deep fakes too. Like they can like just like
Oh yeah, right.
reproduce who you are and like put your likeness on anybody and say, oh, you killed somebody, you did this, you did that. Oh, well, we got
Right.
video of it. Well, you must have done it.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Well,
Yeah.
you should be able to have a cryptographic or encrypted stream from your internet IP. Like, no, it didn't come from me. It didn't come from my.
Right.
So, like,
Blockchain ID, like checking it with that.
Actually, if you listen to Tim Pool, they're like creating, or they've been talking about like another metaverse or whatever. I can't remember what they call it, but basically it's like decentralized social media platforms where you have your own like unique encrypted and like basically your own platform there, but then you can send that information to different websites. So like people can follow your thing on Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus or whatever, but it's all coming from like the blockchain source. So you're not
Right.
really isolated to one platform as a person. Like you
have an individual
your feed is
identifier.
out there.
Yeah. And you're unique,
People
and they can
follow
tell
you on
that
their
it's you.
platform of choice. So
Nice.
one platform can't really block you either because you're just accessible because you're out there. You're like on the chain. You're out.
Right.
So
You're not limited through the gatekeeper, the router.
Right, exactly. Like people choose to access you, but it's always accessible from anywhere. It's just out there. So I think that would stop that because I could have my own encrypted little, like it didn't come from me officially if it didn't come from me on the blockchain.
I mean, I think blockchain allows efficient transfer of information, and that's exactly what the internet has been, and and what it needs to be. People being able to share ideas and communicate and organize through these technologies.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool stuff. There's no doubt about it. Let's see here. Mining, decentralizing. We talked about this. This is just like a quick peek at like it getting diversified. So China was red, huge part of it. Not
It's gone. Yep, it's crazy.
So just really cool, I think, for cryptocurrency as a whole. Obviously, like if it's only America, that's probably not. I mean, obviously good for Americans, but
yeah, I mean, we have like 35% of the hash rate now, so we just have to consider now what is America going to do to regulate it, which it doesn't seem like they're going to try to ban it or anything, but it's just now the other countries that have bigger slices of the pie, now we have to worry about what are those governments going to do and how could that affect or just have impact.
It's so funny how Kazakhstan is like the next big, like it's America, and then it's like Kazakhstan.
Yep.
What are they doing? That's funny.
And then Iran's up there, Russia, right, too. So
I think they would want to ban it, they just can't.
No, I mean they can't. But I mean, it's just like when China had such a big chunk, their government, what they did, what the CPC or whatever would do, had that much more of an impact. So it's like now that they're out of the question, now we have 35%. Okay, well, what is America, going to do with regulations or laws or anything? I mean, it doesn't seem like much right now.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to figure something out because I think they're understanding a little bit more about it and realize like how little control they can have over it. I think they're trying to regulate stable coins, which makes sense.
More or less. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And then,
and
that's interesting.
I think banks are also trying to step into like how do we own Bitcoin and use that as a tool for just their own profits. So like they're just accepting that they can't just own the dollar; they got to own Bitcoin. So even banks are trying to get it and understand how to use it. You can take fiat loans with Bitcoin as collateral through a traditional bank platform. Not that I'd want to give my Bitcoin to a traditional bank at this point, but they are trying to step into it because they have to. There's no other way to avoid it at this point. Let's see here. Ethereum. They're saying this is just the hard fork, the difficulty bomb that expecting to take place to make it harder to mine Ethereum is coming in. Estimates are right now June 2022. So people were saying in the year earlier this year. Now it's getting delayed to like middle of next year. It'll probably be like the end of next year. So if you went out and got an E9 miner,
probably doing good.
All you need is 3 months to make it back, and you'll be making $230 a day mining Ethereum. And if they keep delaying it, it's all good, baby.
Keep going.
We talked about Sushi Schwab a little earlier. Just a cool little site that gives you all the sushiness.
Shiba Swap.
Yeah, Shiba Schwab. What am I saying? Sushi Swap. Shiba Schwab.
Sushi Swap. Shiba Schwab.
I need to move my Sheba from my wallet on my book from the Atomic wallet that I got from our unminable account to move it to Coinbase because now Coinbase can hold it. But I don't have any Ethereum in my Atomic account to move it. So I'm like, damn it. I don't like how you have to use Ethereum to like move it as gas, but it's just part of the.
Oh, that's weird.
That's part of
it. Would just take Ethereum as the gas, or it would take it would convert your Sheba for the gas.
I mean, I guess the Atomic wallet won't automatically do that. Maybe there's some wallets that would do that, but this is saying I need Ethereum to move it. So then I got to move Ethereum, use gas to move it to that, to take it, to move it from that back to. I'm like, hey, I don't want to burn like $30 of Ethereum to move like $4 of Shiba. So I'll have to figure that one out. Mike, you said you sent me some links, so I'm going to try to pull those up in the meantime. Give me one moment.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just some random kind of stuff.
Here's an interesting idea I heard not too long ago. So it has to do with like the U.S. dollar and where it's kind of going. There's a scenario that might happen where we run into a huge inflation issue, and people are trying to pull their U.S. dollars out, and there's not enough U.S. dollars they can pull out because it's not there. And then they would encourage you, and they would encourage businesses to start accepting cryptos. Isn't that an interesting bridge?
I mean,
if we make a run on the banks for the dollars, that's.
But why would they want you? Why would
collapse everything?
Why would they care?
That would be the scenario if there's an issue with the dollar and people start trying to withdraw everything. Like once people start realizing how big of an issue this is, like most people don't realize it. They just continue doing their thing every day. They don't realize all this money doesn't exist. But say there is a collapse in the market and some other catalyst triggers another thing. People start trying to withdraw their dollars, you get to a point where, there isn't enough dollars to withdraw.
But what do you mean by withdraw? Like trying to get a physical dollar out, or just use it and convert it to something else? Like is Bank of America going to say you can't use the money in your checking account because we don't actually have it? Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, they could.
I was interpreting it as withdrawing the money like into cash in your hands or whatever. But that could be a case.
Why would you want to do that, and what would be the benefit of it in this day and age? Like holding a physical dollar doesn't really. You can't go spend 10 grand. Like, but you can spend 10 grand on an exchange digitally. Like that's what you'd want to do a ACH to somebody or a wire transfer. But then Bank of America, if everyone wire transferred $10 trillion tomorrow, then they might be like, oh shit, we don't have $10 trillion to transfer.
I mean, in the end, it's just numbers, right?
Well, that's kind of my point. Like what I was arguing.
Quantitative easing. They're just making.
They're already doing the fake digital bullshit anyway. Like they would just put a negative number in their account probably and figure it out later. But I get the concept of what you're saying, John, is like I guess it's possible. Like
the fact people did want to take the money out, right? Yeah, I mean, then it could make a run because there's not enough dollars for. I think it's
not going to be. I think in that situation, it wouldn't be the government saying go use crypto. It's going to be the businesses saying, "Hey, come."
Right. Well, they'll just say, "Hey, there's no way to interact in monetary exchange."
Well, they're just going to say, "I don't want the dollar anymore." Like,
or that, right?
Come pay me in like Shiba or Dogecoin, and
Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense. Yeah, it would be a movement from the people, from the small
yeah,
business.
I think that's like organically it would happen that way, where like the dollar just goes to shit, no one cares about it, and it's so much easier to just avoid bank fees and credit card fees to just go
Right,
use.
you actually get some interest using this, and it goes up, and it's a little volatile, but it
That's
still
like the
increases.
ultimate. Yeah, that's like the ultimate organic transition if that just systemically goes that
I
direction.
also heard them talking about like on like a US peg coin, if people are removing the backing from the coin, and then while the coin's being bought or something, it's like what effect could that have? Like the backing of the dollar, but that's being removed, and then people are buying into the coin with the dollars being removed. I don't know. Could have some sort of catastrophic effect also.
Yeah, that's wild. Something to think about. Yeah.
Because I mean, there's already issues with Tether and like how much backing they really have, how much they say.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was being discussed on the Simple Crypto.
Yeah, I think Tether is going to run some issues here at some point.
It's like audit them, and they're like, we got $10. It's like we spend all the rest of it.
Right. Yeah. No, I think at some point they're going to be asked to kind of show what they have and realize it's an empty bank vault.
Right. They don't have like 4 trillion or how. Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be holding Tether then.
Well, they gotta keep up with like their own supply and demand, but then the worth of the dollar is not stable either. So it's like even if they were keeping up with their own supply and demand, like they have to keep up with the other variable on that side too.
Right. Yeah. This is 70 trillion. No. Yeah. 70 billion.
Right. Well, I'm going to log off here. It's like 10. I'm going to go to bed.
We had a late start to the show. Please, as it says in the bottom there, we're on the road to 500 subscribers.
I think we're at like 450.
450. So make a like, make a share, suggest it to a friend, a family member.
Yep.
Even if you don't watch the podcast, I think we do put a lot of good information into our little group there with a lot of people actively engaging. So we appreciate all the people that do participate on that and populating it with different posts and different things. So appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. We will roll the script. Thanks for being patient with us while we get through our technical problems. And we're off to see Bitcoin to 70,000 next week. I think that's my thing. That's my prediction.
What do you think Sheba's going to be at?
Sheba. I think it'll be
0.
No, I think it'll be. It's at 0.0004, so I think it's gonna be 0.0007.
7. All right. Yeah, I mean, once it hits 7, it's 10x. So.
Gravy, baby. I'm buying in a little bit. I want to play in the Shiba pit.
We just got another member, 451.
There we go. All right. Well,
Keep it up, guys.
Let's run. John saying, "Here comes the money." The Shiba account.
He says, "Here comes my bed."
All right, go to sleep. Thanks, y'all. Adios.
All right, y'all. Be safe. Peace.